Hey guys, Happy New Year. I hope you all had some great holidays with lots of good food, good drinks, and friends and family. To celebrate 2025, we're going to make a beautiful champagne and pear tart. It's a white chocolate mousse filled with poached pear, a champagne and caramel ganache, a delicious golden madeleine, a pear and long pepper cream, a pear and champagne gel, and a rich hazelnut and long pepper praline. It's a big one with lots of great recipes. So, let's begin.
First, the pear and champagne gel. Start by peeling 2 pears weighing 500 grams. Now cut away the core and then chop them in big chunks. Place the pear chunks in a saucepan together with 300 grams of champagne, 30 grams of cane sugar and 2 long peppers. Now heat this on a low simmer till the pear is fully cooked. Once cooked, remove the long peppers and then blend it till smooth. You can also do this in a blender. Then weigh the pear mixture. Add a gram of agar powder for every 100 grams of mixture. I had 400 grams, so I added 4 grams of agar powder. Now mix this well and then while stirring bring it to a boil for at least 30 seconds. After that pour it into a bowl and let it cool down completely in your fridge. Then transfer it into a blender and blend it till smooth. Now I always vacuum my gels to make them clear and remove any air. This is optional. The gel will still be very good and delicious, but with this you bring it to the next level. Keep it in your fridge for later. Then the long pepper praline. Mix 150 grams of sugar with 30 grams of water and 2 long peppers. Now caramelize this on a medium-high heat. Once a nice golden color starts to form, add 150 grams of untoasted hazelnuts and while stirring keep on heating the caramel. Stir it for around 4 minutes to toast the nuts and give the sugar some more color. Then transfer it on a silicone sheet and let it cool down completely out of the fridge. After that transfer it into a blender and blend it into a fine praline. This really takes a couple of minutes. In the beginning it may seem not much is happening, but just scrape down the sides and give it some more time. It's so worth it. Once you're happy with the consistency, transfer it into a bowl and keep it out of the fridge for later. Now for the champagne and caramel ganache. Mix 100 grams of sugar with 30 grams of water and caramelize this on a medium-high heat. While the sugar is caramelizing, mix 120 grams of champagne with 40 grams of cream and 20 grams of glucose syrup. Bring this to a simmer. When you're happy with the color of the caramel, slowly add the simmering champagne liquid. Keep on heating to prevent the caramel from setting. Once that's done, turn off the heat and add 190 grams of white chocolate and 50 grams of butter. Blend this till smooth. Be sure to keep the blender at the bottom of the pan to prevent air from mixing with the ganache. Then transfer it into a bowl and let it cool down in your fridge. Now for the madeleines. Place 125 grams of butter into a saucepan and caramelize it on a medium heat. Stir it every now and then to prevent it from burning. Once some color starts to form, turn down the heat to get more control. This is the color you're looking for. Place it to the side. Then mix 150 grams of whole egg with 125 grams of sugar and the zest from 1 lemon. Now cut half a vanilla pod in half and scrape out the seeds. Add the seeds to the bowl and start mixing till you have a fluffy mixture. This takes a couple of minutes. Then while mixing, add 125 grams of flour, 7 grams of baking powder and the beurre noisette that we just made. You'll end up with a thick and fluffy batter. Now transfer half of the batter on a silicone sheet and level it with a palette knife. Then bake it at 190 degrees Celsius till golden on top. This takes around 12 to 40 minutes. After that let it cool down completely and then cut it with your big round cutter. Keep the madeleine covered for later. Now for the poached pears. Mix 900 grams of champagne with 180 grams of sugar, the peel from 1 lemon, 5 long peppers, half an empty vanilla pod, 2 pieces of star anise, 5 cardamom pods and 1 cinnamon stick. Bring this to a boil. While that's happening, take 5 pears and peel them. Once the liquid is boiling, add the pears and make sure that they're all submerged. Then cover the top with some parchment paper to ensure a more even cooking. Now let them poach on a low heat for 1 hour. After that turn off the heat and let them cool down completely. Then remove the pears from the liquid. The liquid you can use to poach up more pears or reduce it like I did. Once it's reduced into a syrup, pass it through a fine sieve and later on you can use it to glaze the pears. Now back to the poached pears. Cut them all in half and remove the core with a Parisian scoop. You can also do this with a teaspoon or a tablespoon, but this is just so much easier. Then cut away the stem on the top and bottom. Once clean, use the Parisian scoop to scoop out nice pear balls. These we will use to decorate the top of the tart. Keep them in your fridge for later. The trimmings you can place on your cutting board and chop into a nice tartare. You want it to be this fine. Then transfer it into a bowl and add some of the gel we just made. This for texture and flavor. Keep this as well in your fridge for later. Now for the pear and long pepper cream. Mix 150 grams of pear juice with 100 grams of cream, 30 grams of sugar and 3 long peppers. Now cover the pan with a lid and bring this to a simmer. Then turn off the heat and let it infuse for 1 hour. After that, add 50 grams of egg yolk and 20 grams of cornstarch. Mix it well and then while stirring bring it to a boil to thicken it. Once thickened, transfer it on the fine sieve and press it through. Then cover it and let it cool down in your fridge. Now mix it once more and fill a piping bag that's fitted with a round nozzle. Keep it in your fridge for later. Then we can assemble the interior. Place a madeleine disc on the bottom of a metal ring that's sitting on the piece of parchment paper and pipe the cream around it. Then add a layer of the ganache and drizzle some praline on there. Add the other madeleine disc and top it off with the pear compote. Level it and then let it freeze till solid. Once solid, remove the parchment paper and heat up the side of the ring with a blowtorch. Now remove it as well and keep the interior in the freezer for later. Then the white chocolate mousse. Soak 3.3 grams or 2 leaves of gelatin in cold water. Now pour 70 grams of cream into a saucepan and bring it to a boil. When it's boiling, turn off the heat and dissolve the gelatin. Then also add 100 grams of white chocolate and mix it till it's fully emulsified. Set it aside for later. Now mix 50 grams of champagne with 40 grams of sugar and heat this up till it's 110 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, transfer 70 grams of whole egg into a mixing bowl and start beating it. Once the syrup is 110 degrees Celsius, while mixing, add it to the egg and keep on mixing till it's at room temperature. For the final step, pour 180 grams of cream into a bowl and beat it till it has a thin yogurt consistency. It needs to look like this. Now while mixing, slowly add the ganache to the beaten egg mixture and fold it together. Then pour that mixture on the whipped cream and fold it together as well. Pour that mousse into a tart mold and tap it a couple of times to remove any air bubbles. This one is from Malt Brothers Pastry. Find all information in the description of this video. Now gently place the frozen interior in the mousse and level the top with a palette knife. When necessary, clean the sides and then let it freeze till completely solid. Once the tart is frozen, remove it from the mold and place it on a frozen tray that's covered with some plastic wrap. You can already serve the tart like this, but I add a thin layer of white chocolate brush. Unfortunately my brusher broke down, so I used a pre-made spraying can. Homemade, it's a mixture of 50% melted cocoa butter and 50% white chocolate. Now let it defrost in your fridge. Then let's decorate it. First place the poached pear balls on top. Now pipe some of the cream in between. Then also pipe some of the champagne and pear gel on top and add a couple toasted hazelnuts. As a final decoration, I add some gold leaf, just to really make it a fancy celebration for the new year.
Okay guys, that's it for today. Super happy with the result. I mean, the tart looks amazing. You have all these lovely layers. I mean, just look at them. You have the ganache, the cream, the madeleine, the tartare of the more of the compote of the pear, and then the white chocolate mousse covering it all. A little bit of the praline in between as well, just for the nuttiness, for the richness and flavor. And then the top is really lovely as well. For me, this is truly a special tart and a great way to celebrate the new year, the 2025. It's gonna be a great year. It's gonna be an awesome year. 2024 personally was amazing, but other than that, not so much. So 2025 is definitely the way to go. Like I said, look at these beautiful layers. Let me get a close-up. Yeah, look at these beautiful layers. You have, like I said, the madeleine, the cream, then you have the ganache, the praline, another layer of madeleine, and then the compote, white chocolate, and then the top with the poached pear, the cream, the gold leaves, the gel, everything, toasted hazelnuts. Honestly, combination made in heaven. So let's dig in. I can't wait. I haven't tried it yet, so bye. Guys, that's incredible. You have the sweetness of the pear, the richness of the praline, and I know that I haven't used a lot of praline, but it's enough because it's so rich. And then the long pepper, the madeleine, really lovely texture, and that white chocolate mousse. I mean, it's so soft. Like I said in the video, you can use it. I didn't say it in the video actually, no. But if you make white chocolate like this in a mold, I would suggest using 2 leaves of gelatin. And if you're putting it in a glass, for example, so you don't need to unmold it and it doesn't need to hold its shape that much, then 1 is also fine. But for this, as you can see, 2 is perfect. Beautiful, beautiful texture. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like and share the video. And please subscribe if you want to see more amazing recipes and if you want to support my channel as well. And as always, bon appetit!